Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be doing a how to build of the brand new Yuri from the Tarragon collaboration. As you can see, I have got her outfits, just her. She's the only one I bought outfits for the collaboration because in my opinion she is the most promising character of the three for future uses. I see her being used for like final boss and all that kind of stuff as well as she makes humans a viable team, which is quite nice. Her relic actually looks really cool. In my opinion, it's actually one of my favourite relics in the game currently. Not including, of course, the Overlord ones, but that's because they're straight from the anime. This is not from the anime, but it looks really sick. Just love it. It looks really cool. Don't know why, just really like it. But of course, first we'll look at her substats. So of course, this is with all outfits. 91 pierce rate, quite good. 71 resistance is actually quite good. 99% crit chance for a support character is very good. The 235 crit damage is insane. But there's a reason for that, we'll go into that in a sec. 90% crit res is quite good, bear in mind her relic is actually quite broken. 112% crit def is actually really high. I think it's not one of the, it's definitely not the highest in the game, but it's definitely up there in the super high region of crit defense, like probably rivaling characters like Albedo, Purg Melee, probably Transcendent Barn as well. Lifesteal 13%, very low, but it is a human. Humans also have Transcendent Bomb, which increases HP related stats by 5% per human on the field, so that's not really too big of a problem as well. Of course, damage resistance none because she's not True Awakened. Onto her skills. So her skills are super lackluster. What I mean is the effects of the skills. She has no skills with a damage increase effect. What I mean is this is Remove Stance, the exact same as Ghislaine's skill. And then you have this skill, which is like buff removal and stance removal. It's like Green Fraldron's AoE skill, I think that's what it is. But this is where her insanely high crit damage comes into play. She's a cleave skill. Basically, at 1/6, she applies 1 Rose Shinsu, which is her effect that we'll get into in the passive. Effect on the enemy for 4 turns, and then inflicts cleave damage, which does not activate crit damage. Basically, when it says which does not activate crit damage, it means it just doesn't crit, but it's worded in a very weird way. Which does not activate crit damage. It means it basically means you can't crit, but they just put it in a really weird way, or like a riddle basically is what they've done here. Equal to 500%. Of course, it's only on one enemy, but of course, 2/6 you get 2 stacks. 5/6 you get 3 stacks, and that's cap. 3 stacks is cap of the debuff she can have. But the multiplier doesn't actually go up by too much. The cleave effect itself isn't affected very much, and it doesn't affect her passive in any sort of way anyway. So it's quite a very good. She's a very good character to have at 1/6. Like, yes, you do lose 2000 CC between 1/6 and 6/6, but if you're not willing to wail on her and get him 6/6, it's fine. 1/6 outfits is 1/6 with outfits is fine. It'll do. She's got half decent CC. This is with, of course, HTB defense. With her relic and all her outfits maxed out, her gear isn't the best, but if I can get her to 67,000 CC, which is quite good. It makes her quite a useful character. Of course, she's a newer character, so she's sort of expected to have high CC. I think she's in probably the top 20 for high CC in the game, which is pretty standard nowadays. Albedo was in like top 6, 7. Like all of Overlord, Bakucutus was in like the top 10. Sorry, not top 10, but like top 15 on release. This collab, we've got like, I think 1 top 10, 1 top 20, and then a top 25. Which is like, it's okay. Anyway, we're going to stop talking about CC. We're going to a passive, which is increase the basic stats of human allies by 5% for each human participating in battle. If the hero uses a skill, or if a human ally takes damage from a skill during the enemy's turn, that enemy is afflicted with Rose Shinsu for 4 turns. If the hero uses a skill on an enemy with max roses stacked, I'm going to call it max rose stacks, it's easier. The enemy is afflicted with all target skill disable, which also disables ultimate AoEs as well. But this is where she becomes broken. After you apply the 3 stacks and she attacks, and you disable them, and the disable disappears, they still have 3 stacks. So if you can just keep attacking them every turn. If they don't have a cleanse, they're not going to be AoEing you. Which, of course, if you put that with Transcendent Barn, who's going to be constantly applying debuffs, melee once every 3 turns won't be able to cleanse it, which is good. What does the Rose Shinsu do? It decreases the damage dealt by 10% up to 3 times, which means you can lower the damage dealt by 30%, which is very good. And the fact that it's damage dealt and not attack related stats means that it also works on Goddess team as well, which is quite good because that's future proof. And the fact she has also a buff removal AoE, once again, good against Goddesses, buff removal AoE is. Fortunately, it is at level 2. I would like to see it at level 1, but I think AoE buff removal at level 1 would be kind of broken, just to say the least. I would think it would be very broken. Her Relic, which is the reason why she's able to make teams usable again, especially with the rest of her kit combined with this Relic, increased allies' crit res and crit death by 30%. So, that isn't tied to a race. So it doesn't matter what allies you are, you may not have a full human team, but you still get the crit resistance and the crit defense, which is absurd. The fact that that's just straight out there. It's like Tristan, but yes, Tristan does provide 45% defense related stats, and yes, you do lose against the defense, 15% more defense related stats, but the crit res and crit defense is basically like you having a... If they have Death Pierce on the team, your crit resistance and crit defense, this Relic would basically nullify it, which is kind of cool. Once again, we saw the multipliers. The ultimate, it's not too high, it's 6-6. 1/6, it's 500, and it gets a 250% multiplier because it only goes 50% every turn, which is actually completely fine, doesn't actually matter. Gear-wise, HP defense, she's a support character. She is built solely for supporting the human team. She's not built for DPS, the damage isn't that high, she hasn't got any multiplier skills apart from cleave, so if you were to give her attack crit dam, yes, you would benefit from the crit damage gear for cleave, but that would be it. There'd be nothing else you'd benefit from. Which, of course, it's not worth it. Just run HP defense. You've got quite good CC. Do you really want to be going first? Yeah, you kind of do want to be going first with humans, just so you can deal as much damage as possible, really. And then we go on to, of course, outfits. I have all of them maxed out already. But she has 4 of each, apart from outfits, which is 5, which is like standard. But she's got, you know, let's just say there was a rerun to happen, which of course there will be a rerun of this, because they own the IP, so it's probably the cheapest rerun they can possibly ever do. Same with KOF. They own the IP for KOF, so it isn't too big of a problem. But it's cool. The Relic itself is cool. It also gives quite a nice chunk of stats: 380 attack, 400 death, and 4000 HP. Of course, I always recommend, if you do, let's say you don't summon on this collab, right? And you get all the collab boxes that are currently available for free, and you have other collaboration characters who haven't made their Relic, make their Relics. It makes a big difference, of course, especially if you're not going to summon on this collab. If you're going to summon on this collab, prioritize the Relics from this collab first, because they're probably, the characters in this collab are probably more relevant for content more than older characters, unless it's characters like Mikasa or Kizna, where their Relics make, or even Ghislaine, or Rudius, or Eris, you know, there's quite a few that make quite a big difference, but I would highly recommend getting these collab ones first. Of course, if you do end up actually spending 900 diamonds during this collaboration, you get another Relic as well, but remember, it's diamonds, it's not pity. A lot of people sometimes forget that and complain when it says you need to reach like 900 and you get the outfit and they spend 870 diamonds and they didn't get it. Why they did a full rotation is because you spent basically 30 diamonds in tickets. And it has to be diamonds only, so of course please do bear that in mind. But overall, she's a good character. Highly recommend leveling her up. She's a very good character. She enables humans to be used again, which is good, especially with the fact that, let's just say, Chaos Arthur comes within the next 6 months. She could be very key for that team, especially because of the fact she increases crit resistance. And if Chaos Arthur drops, he's probably going to, let's be realistic, he's probably going to be a UR-based character. So she could be very good, increasing like crit resistance, crit defense for a character that already has high crit resistance, crit defense, sort of like Melee's passive, how he increases his defense related stats. Could be something like that. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.